Hey now guys, it's Rob here coming to you from Rob's School of Music. It is a million degrees. Please excuse the air conditioner pumping away in the background. But on today's interview, we're talking to Zach Myers from Shinedown. See you on the other side. All right, guys. So today's really cool. It turns out that Zach and I had a ton in common. I'm a big Shinedown fan, have been for a while. Also a big fan of Zach's signature PRS guitars. I love myself a good silver burst, and he had that amazing silver burst with the sparkles, 3 pickups, everything you can want. A killer guitar. I remember when that came out of NAMM a bunch of years back, and I was blown away by it. Once I got talking with Zach, I found out that we are the same age. We both collect lots of really cool things like guitars and watches and sneakers. Both building up some really nice collections of guitars from our birth year, '83. But then further into the interview, really check out the video component over on Instagram. He shows us around his home studio, a bunch of his guitars, his 59 Les Paul, his Dumble, just a bunch of really cool amplifiers, his sneaker collection. It was a really, 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 really cool conversation. Came out of it feeling like a friend. So thank you, Zach. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, we're doing online lessons. Hopefully soon we'll be doing in-person lessons, but everything now online is incredible. Don't think you're missing out on anything, guys. We have the most amazing team of teachers put together, putting all this supplemental materials, handouts, videos, everything you could need. We have a music wizardry online camp coming this summer, July 31st through August 2nd. You can check all of that information out at robschoolofmusic.com. But without further ado, here comes my conversation with Zach Myers. There he is.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Okay. I was just cleaning some fish outside.
Well, that sounds fun.
I live on we have like a lake and a bunch of land, and we go fishing every day, so it's just kind of our normal deal.
That's really cool. That's not a bad life at all.
No, man, fresh fish for dinner tonight, so it'll be good.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for spending the time to hang out with us today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So typically I'll just ask a bunch of questions, and if we see something in the comments, feel free to go on a tangent, tell stories, take it wherever you want to go.
I feel that often. No need to tell me to do that. I'll do that anyway.
Perfect. So we're a music school. We do lessons. We do one-on-one private lessons. We've been doing them here for years. We've been closed, obviously, for a bit now, like the rest of the world. So we switched everything online. I think one of the biggest things our students deal with is when it comes time to play a gig, we put bands together and we book them shows. We have recitals. Nerves, anxiety. So you're in a huge rock band playing all around the world. How do you deal with nerves and stuff like that?
It's so strange, man. I don't get. My singer always says this thing, like if you don't get nervous, like I don't know, he says something, you don't really feel like you're alive. I actually just I don't get nervous before I go on stage, which is very strange, but I didn't I found out what anxiety was in March of 2018. I never had anxiety. I used to I wouldn't say I would go so far as to say it like I made fun of people with anxiety, but I'd be like, come on, you're nervous, stop. Just and I would kind of very haphazardly tell people to deal with it. And then March of 2008, I started getting these really weird feelings. We were in Nashville at our rehearsal space, and it was just Eric and I and our 2 techs, and we were just going over some stuff, and it felt like water boiling from the bottom of my feet up. It was slowly coming up, and I was like, I went to my tech, and I'm having a heart attack, call 911. And he's like, you're not having a heart attack. I'm like, I'm trying to convince this person that I'm having a heart attack. He's like, you're fine. So I went and ran around. It's a large space. I went and ran around. And I drank some water, and I took an aspirin. All right, I'm fine. And then it kept happening. 3 ER trips later of doctors who have been doctors for 35 years going, and knew who I was every time I went to the hospital. Were like, listen, you play the guitar, we'll be the doctor. And I was like, I have something with my heart. And they're like, heart's fine. So it turns out I just had panic disorder, which is very strange because, like I said, when it comes to like nerves, I've never like I've been nervous before shows. Like I don't. It's not to me. It's like I look at it as like going into a fight or like going into a football game. Like I'm just like I'm so ready to go. Like that's why like I am so different from everybody else in my band in the sense of like I like to sit. We're all kind of the same in the way like we all kind of like we don't like loud music in the dressing room to like get pumped up. Like it's more like art of war. You know what I mean? It's very like focused. Like our show is we call it full contact. We're not just standing there staring at our shoes. So it's but for us it's very different. But yeah, I don't. I know Brent gets nervous, our singer. I don't really. It's never been a thing for me. If I get up on stage and screw something up, I own it. I'll hold the guitar higher if I hit a bad note.
I'm sorry that you had to deal with the anxiety thing, man. The singer that I work with, who also happens to be my girlfriend, anxiety has been a big part of her existence for the past 5 or 6 years. And prior to that, same thing, super confident, nothing bothered her. And then a switch flips and nothing makes sense anymore. So I feel your pain there. That's rough.
It's very strange, man. I would always just go, well, I don't have anything to be anxious about. Like, what I don't. These aren't things I think about. I don't have stuff way on my mind. And then I was talking to my doctor, who was a friend of mine, and he was like, hey man, he's like, what's going on in your life? I was like, nothing, man. I got a new record coming out, and I had 2 new records coming out at the time, one from AM and then one from Shinedown. I was like, we just bought a new house and we're renovating that, and my second kid's on the way. And he's like, you got nothing going on, huh? I guess I do got a lot of stuff. So for me, it was again, it's about coming back to like just being yourself and keeping calm, and and my kids have kind of helped me with it, honestly. Like I just kind of think about what's going on. I haven't had any like episodes in probably about a year and a half. But when it happens to me, and I think anxiety manifests itself differently in everyone. Mine certainly it feels like a medical emergency. Like mine feels like I'm 100% having a heart attack, and it's not like heavy breathing. It's just like your heart feels like it's going to stop, and then like your arms go numb and your face goes numb. It's very. I think they said I had panic, so who knows?
Well, I'm thank you for sharing that. That's heavy stuff, and I'm glad that it's going okay. Interesting with kids. That was going to be my next thing. So you're on the road for long periods of time. How do you deal with being away from your family? Like, how does that?
It's not fun. I try to bring my kids out as much as I can. My wife and my kids, so they'll come out a lot, and I'll have my own bus, and it's really nice. The youngest one is now just getting to the age where I think he would be able to. And when he was young, when my oldest son is 4, my youngest son turns 2 next week, and my oldest son has been on the road. He's 4 months old, rock star, handles the life great, and we're lucky, and blessed enough to where it's like we're not in like 500-seat clubs, you know what I mean? Like sweating it out and worrying about where you're going to shower. We're in nice arenas and stuff, so it's like it makes it a little easier to tour with your family because like we can have our own room and they can have a clean shower and do all these things. You know what I mean? So like it's for me like I enjoy it, but like definitely stressful for my wife. She's like it. The little one didn't adapt as good the first time we had him on the road as the big one. The big one was great. Could live like as long as he wanted, like how he wanted on the road. Hey man, you're staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning tonight. All right, cool. The little one's like, have me to bed by this time, or like, I'm gonna fight everyone in the room, and everyone's gonna pay for this. So it was like, so he'll be 2. So who knows? Whenever we tour again, if anyone ever tours again, we'll bring him back. Yeah, missing them when they're on is hard, and it's not the most fun I've ever had missing them. But right now, being home is a blessing for sure. I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome, man. It's great that you get to take them out. In regards to the future of music, like I know you guys had a tour that was coming up this summer, and that recently got, postponed. Like, how are you? So my thing outside of the teaching is I toured for like 10 years. I'm a PRS guy like yourself. We're going to get into that deeply. Um, but in the last handful of years, I transitioned into having the school, and I do like weddings and things like that. And we're used to doing 3 to 5 gigs every week. And I've been doing that for 4 years solid, and now nothing for 3 months. Like on the much larger scale that you're dealing with that, like mentally, emotionally, how's that affecting you?
I was just talking to my buddy about this on FaceTime an hour ago, talking about like there's definitely days I wake up and I'm like, man, we'll play a show. And with kids, man, this is the longest I've ever been home since I've been married. It's the longest I've ever been home with kids. We were taking this year off anyway. Like we were only doing 30 shows, and that was a wrap. So we were going to work on writing a record, and then maybe January we were going to go in and make a record. Now, who knows? We probably will make a record before that because there's nothing else to do, and we don't really know how to not work. So honestly, for me, it was more about our employees and the people, our crew, our family. That's a lot of people. That's when you break it down and you break it off. That's like you got 40 something people who are on the road with you. Okay, now that branches off to a lighting company that's not getting paid, a bus company not getting paid. There's so many lives affected by what you do in the touring industry. It's crazy, man, because now this lighting company does, now the bus company does, sound company does. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely a hard thing to like really like get around and like and you got these people. My tech's been with me for 10 years. So these are people that they're your family. You know what I mean? They're people that
Right.
So.
I hear it, man. It's a
Oh,
scary stuff. Oh, no, crap.
my thing.
Let's talk about happy stuff. Let's talk about positive stuff for a second. When did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar when I was 13. I got a guitar for my 12th birthday. I didn't play it right. Like I got it and like I'll be honest, like I didn't even know that like you were supposed to put your left hand on the guitar. So I was just like strumming away with my right hand. And I remember I think right after my 13th birthday I picked it up and it kind of came really natural to me. It was something that I enjoyed doing, and it was like when I picked it up and I started taking lessons, like to me it was the only thing that ever came like easy, right? Like I played sports, I played basketball, I played soccer, played baseball, but for me guitar was like, what I'm saying, like the only thing that like I really connected with on the purpose of like I can do this. It makes sense to me mentally, and that's kind of like what I'm going to go towards. Like I kind of once I started playing guitar, I kind of quit the sports thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like, all right, well, this is now, and then I got signed when I was 14. So it was,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was a quick jump. I learned how to play lead guitar first. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things like where I picked it up so fast that once the roller coaster kind of started, it was, we're going now. And so I've been doing it ever since. That was 22 years ago.
Wow, signed at 14. So what was that band?
That was Zach Myers band. So that was just me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like me and a bass player named Michael Morales who played with Colonel Bruce Hampton and a bunch of other artists, and another guy named Garrett Marshall who was just a little bit older than me. But they were both older than me. And yeah, that was a three-piece, just like a blues rock band. That's kind of what I started doing. So.
That's incredible, man. See, when I do these things, I intentionally I don't research anything. I want to learn stuff right on the fly. So that's really cool.
People who I do interviews all the time, like the Wikipedia interviews, to drive me nuts now. It's just like everything I'm watching. It's like I'll just be doing a radio interview, and it's like, okay, so I see here, blah 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 blah. Like,
Yeah.
like they're just reading. They're literally reading answers to questions, and I'm like, oh my God.
Nah, man, I want it to be organic. I want to get to know you. Wow, 14. So what was that like? Like, I mean, how did that lead to Shinedown? What was, the journey?
I got signed at 14. I was a blues player, and then I kind of started writing like rock songs, like different stuff that wouldn't be considered like a blues thing, right? So I had given them to the label, and they, well, what if we gave these songs to other rock artists? If we could really like shop these songs. Wait a second, these are yeah, I wrote them. I want to. Well, that's not what you do. Like you're a blue. It was like this is Kenny Wayne Shepherd time. This is Johnny Lang time. So you're this little kid that plays blues guitar. That's what you. So to get out of my deal, I had to basically like break up the band, I guess, for lack of better terms. So I had to break up the band, and when then I was so tired of like the industry side of it that I wanted to I basically I wanted to tour, but I didn't want to deal with like the in and out of like a label. So I started being a guitar tech, and I learned how to do that, and I learned how to work guitar amps. And so for me, like that's something that I did. And so I started doing that, and I worked for Saliva and Aerosmith and Three Doors Down and Dirk Bentley and all these other people. And then I was playing bass for Saliva, and I was teching for Three Doors Down at the same time. And what happened was they were basically um, Shinedown. The bass player was having a baby, and they asked me to fill. Okay, cool, I'll do that. It's only like 4 weeks or whatever. So I did it, and basically at the end of it, Brent was kind of just like, "Hey man, like you can't like leave, like you got to stay here." All right, cool. So I ended up staying, and that was in 2014, 2015. So yeah, it was definitely something for me that, you know, I felt like I needed to be there, and then I left the band in 2006 for like 3 months, and then came back. Yeah, so it's been a weird journey for sure.
That's cool though. I mean, to have a gig and then kind of transition out of it to the behind the scenes and then find your way back, to a much larger platform. That's a cool ride.
Yeah, man, it's for my career, it's definitely been something that I enjoy doing. Like, and it's been a long ride. Now 16 years almost with Shinedown, so it's interesting for sure to see the dynamic of how we've changed, how the records have changed, and all this stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, man.
Well, I'm a fan outside of all this, so that part's real cool, man.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been fun. It's nice to have a little break. We always pour, so it's nice to have a little break.
cool, man. Yeah, that's the one thing I was hoping. Like, whenever the virus goes away and the civil unrest and all the shitty stuff happening out there, if we all come out of this recharged and a better human race, that's okay. Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, man. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, so I grew up in a neighborhood that most wouldn't drive through with their doors locked. You know what I mean? So like, I grew up, and all my friends were, I grew up in the hood, man. That's what I grew up, and so I didn't really know any different. So all the stuff that's going on now for me is like, it's nice to see that my city is being so great, and we've had 5 days of peaceful protest, no arrests. You know,
Beautiful.
it's been really cool, man, to see people stand up for what's right. Um,
Yeah,
and
really.
you see people kind of like running their mouth and saying certain things. It's really funny because the people who have kind of come out, but it's like this isn't, this not a political issue. This isn't a left and right thing. This is a right
Right.
and this is a right and wrong. This is some
1000%.
this is this is something that is about uh, uh, just something about that's wrong completely. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not even a question that you know, and you have people who are on both sides who are kind of going back and forth, and but there's no back and forth on this one.
Right. There's nothing to discuss. It's
There's nothing to discuss. You know, I'm I'm a good I'm a good debater. I'm okay with your separate opinion. You know, what we can't have a separate opinion on is racism. Like there's no opinion. You know what I mean? To me, it's it's something that you stand up for where I come from, and that's just you know that's how I all my family, we grew up that way. It was all of it wasn't like, oh, this is my black friend, like this. No, man, like
It's my friend.
this is
Yeah.
my this is he's the same as me. You know what I mean? It's like there's a great Dennis Leary quote that says that that talks about how racism is taught, and he says, my kid's 4 years old. He hates one thing's naps. End of list. That's my kid too. You know what I mean? Like my kid doesn't know that his black friends are different. He doesn't. There's no difference to him. He doesn't care. Like it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't affect him. He's never asked me why this person looks different. He doesn't, because the person's not different. So, like I said, there's right and wrong, and there's left and right. But this isn't about those things. There's one road here. You know what I mean?
100%.
If you're not on it, then you're driving through traffic the wrong way. So now that hopefully this gentleman here will shut his mouth and we can get back to talking about what we're talking about.
That's what I'm like. I had to say. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Dude, it's a troll. It's a troll Instagram.
Yeah.
I hope his mom's Wi-Fi doesn't go out, because then he won't have it. Won't be able to get.
Sorry, I got a couple of my students and friends jumping in there, running interference. All right, I got to get into the PRS stuff because I hooked up with them in 2009. Win and Bev, they've just been incredible to me, and your signature stuff is awesome. Like,
Thank you.
What was the process? Of course, man. Yeah, dude. The silver burst sparkle kind of thing.
So I always loved triple humbucker things. It was something that I always really liked. And then the silver sparkle thing, that was all, I was like, what do you want? I was like, Bow Flake. I always loved silver burst. Adam Jones. All these people who played silver burst guitars. Peter Klett from Candlebox one.
Nice.
For me, it was. I wanted that, but I wanted it to be a little bit different, and I wanted it to I love that back boat flake, man. I thought that. Sorry, someone was calling me. I thought that kind of heavy flake thing was really cool. So we went that way. It ended up not even staying on the line very long, because it was like the blue one kind of just outsold it, which made sense. I really, on that first signature model, man, I really learned a lot of lessons, which is there's a really big fine line between playing things that you like, and then in turn playing things that you have to, or making a guitar you have to sell to other people, right? Because for me, I was just like, well, I'm going to make a guitar for me. Well, people don't necessarily like what you like. They don't make that third pickup really bothered a lot of people. And so for me, it was just like, all right, on the second one, I'm going to nail this. And I mean, saying we hit a home run on the second signature, to me, would be an understatement. I mean, it's one of the best-selling PRS guitars of the last 10 years. So awesome, I feel very, very good about it. And yeah, it's there may or may not be a new one that's within 15 feet of me that I'm not allowed to show anybody. But
that was my next question, but I respect.
Where?
I didn't hear the last thing you said. I'm sorry. What?
I said it's here somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, it's like when I first started doing these interviews, I had this guy Jake Bowen, who plays in Periphery, and Yvette Young, and they both have signature Ibanez guitars. So when I was out at NAMM, I was playing them, and it was cool to discuss it, but never a PRS one. So that's right in my heart, man. That is beautiful. When designing, the elements of it, like, are you going down to, okay, I want this pickup this way and this tone pot, and or is it, how detailed does that get?
It got pretty detailed, especially on it was about, like I said, really getting down to what people wanted and what I wanted, trying to find that healthy line. So I mean, down to the color, the back of the neck being sanded, the back of the guitar being natural, the tuners being vintage, but the bridge being what is my favorite bridge of the time, which is the PRS adjustable bridge. the clear knobs. I have a weird theory that hardly anyone agrees with me, but I don't know if they don't agree with me on it, but it's for me like I don't know. To me, if you put a colored knob on a pretty guitar that's not a vintagey color, an amber burst, a violin burst, any tobacco burst, any any other knob on a colored guitar like purple or blue, anything that's very colorful, I think on any other knob you're like it's too many crayons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so, I always like knob. That's what my thing is. You know what I'm saying? So, I like putting the clear knobs on it, and so people really always. That's kind of the main thing. To me, clear knobs don't take away. Like they add to. You can still see the top through it. It makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. So yeah, for me, like it was. I was. I'm. You can ask Paul and Bev, and I'm very nitpicky about. It's got your name on it. Be out there.
Sure.
It's like you want it to be right, and they got everything right that I wanted on the first one. It certainly um, didn't do as well as the second one. It did great by all expectations, and outsold a lot of other signature models, and which I was very proud of because I was you get a guitar and you're nervous because I just hope anybody likes it because like one of my two biggest achievements were other than having my kids, getting a guitar and having my own Air Jordan. So, like those are like the two like things. And when I got my guitar, it was like, all right, please just don't mess this up. Like I have a guitar with my name on it. Still, to me, 10 years in, my first signature model came out in '09, so 11 years in. It blows my mind to have a guitar with my name by my favorite guitar company. It's super cool. But yeah, when it comes down to Bev, I'm picky is a bit of an understatement.
I get it, man. Though, I mean, you have to be, and like I'm trying to think, like the clear knobs. I'm looking around. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes tons of sense.
It's just to me, your eyes go you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at the knobs now. And so it bothers me. Like I'm like, why is that there? It's almost
Right.
like it's just like it's like a pimple. You know what I mean? It's like just something that's like, oh my God, you can't look away from it, just right there.
I think that's kind of brilliant, actually. I've never thought of. I would have never thought of that, and like, because their tops are so pretty, and you don't want something to step on that. Like,
For sure. That's kind of the reason too. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to like mess up the top. Right? So like to me, like I said, to me it's like a pimple, man. It's just like it's like there, and you keep looking at it. But listen, and a lot of people don't feel the same way as I. I'm very aware of that. I came up with the clear knobs things on cars a long time ago, and I was just I'm sticking with this. This is what I'm gonna do. So
I like it. I like it very much. I like it. I'm gonna when we're done, I'm calling one of my friends because we always talk. We go nerd out, man. We'll go to swapping pickups all the time, string gauges, string band brands, always trying to try it, and some little aesthetic tweak like that makes a big difference. All right, so I got to ask you. There's a person, a student, a friend here. He always asks this question. What are your thoughts on Rush?
um, it's a tragedy what happened. It's weird, man. It's one of those bands that I've seen live a couple times, and I don't really like. I don't know how many Rush records I own. Not a lot. It's not a band I listen to on a basis, but it's a band that I go see, and I'm
Right.
like, what is happening? You know what I mean? Like, it is, you know, musically, as far as talent goes, the greatest three-piece band to ever walk the earth. As far as like three talented individuals playing music together. But yeah, man, they're amazing. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just, but I was never like owned a bunch of Rush records or anything. It's one of those things like if my buddies, our old pyro guy was their pyro guy years and years and years.
Wow.
If they were ever in town, I was coming, and I would just go see the show. So it was it's definitely that for me. Like I said, like I just enjoy watching them live, the camaraderie of the. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not like a math rock jam band dude. Like I like songs. Don't bore us. Get to chorus. I don't want to see you noodly. That's kind of why I like Trickery, right? And the same thing with um Between the Buried Me, because those bands they're both, right. You can enjoy the musicianship. They have songs.
Right.
Like, dudes can sing. They have melody. The songs have like a subject matter to them. Like, I've never just like, dude, like some of them. Listen, it does very well. It's just not for me. I enjoy the musicianship of it. I Don't get me wrong. I think those guys, they can outplay me 100 circles to one. But it's just not something like, that's not what I do. So Rush for me was like, this band is good and they have songs and the guy sing, and like, so it was a combination of all three things, right? Good songs, great music. I think something like that will never happen again. I don't like saying that with music because it's such an ever evolving door. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I can't, like, I don't see that ever happening again. That good of songs, that good of musicians, and three dudes. Like, that's insane. There's my Rush thought.
I did. We're on the same page. Like I'm a hook guy. I want songs. I 90s kind of stuff is like my home base. I'm 30. Oh my, I'm 37. So like
Okay,
Pearl Jam, STP. Yeah. So they were probably coming from the same exact place. So yeah, I get it. But I do agree. Like something like that balance of crazy musicianship, but something that there's a hook to it, and that's I don't know if we'll see that again. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think we'll skip on.
What do you what you thought? How are you? Okay, so I always mess up my phrasing on this question. We struggle with the guitar students because they don't care about theory, and I'm always trying to push on people that I think you should have at least a foundational level of theory because it opens up a lot of doors. Okay, so
I know nothing about it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why notes relate to other notes. I know how they sound when I play them. I know scales. I know certain things about scales. I know nothing about music. My wife can literally, you could give her a Rush song and she can play it on guitar or
really,
literally put all the music out, and she can, like, so she knows everything about it. She knows, why a seventh is a seventh and what is the seventh to every note. Like, to me, like, Mark Tremonti's like that. Like, Tremonti's a great friend of mine, but like, like, I'll be like, okay, what's the, I play a G7 all the time. I don't know what note the 7 is. I can tell you if I think about it, but you know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, I just don't, it's just not my thing, man. Like, I learned how to play piano by myself. Like, no one taught me anything. Like, I literally hooked a keyboard up to a guitar tuner, hit a note, saw what the note was, and put pink tape on every key. And now, I don't know music theory, but I know what chords are made of. I know every in an E chord. So now I'm learning how to play piano. Problem was, I wasn't using my right thumb unless I was playing a D major, a B major, or an E major. So my wife makes fun of me terribly because I stretch these fingers on this hand. My wife will never, she's like, if you use your thumb, you would have to move your hand to get to this chord. Because I play piano all day. Like, we have a piano in our downstairs in the living or dining room, and that's really all I do. I play piano way more than I play guitar, and I'm trying to play, and it's just like, she's like, if I was like, I'll try to, like, sing something, and then she'll go, and I'll mess up the chord because I'm singing. She's like, listen, if you don't have to move your hand to go from an F to a C if you're playing the right way. And I'm like, so I'm trying. That's my new thing. Is like, it's like reteaching yourself guitar. It's like I have to add this stupid thumb in to what I'm doing, and it even, like, changes the way I sit on the piano. But yeah, music theory has never been my strong suit, so I can't tell people whether. Listen, I wasn't great at school either. So it's like, but I still tell people to stay in school. So it's like, sure, learn music theory.
Nah, dude, I see. Honestly, it's that was probably the best answer to that question we've gotten in maybe 10 or so of these interviews, because I always try and balance it. Like, if someone doesn't want to go deep into it, you don't need it. I existed as a musician, even through music college, not really understanding any of the theory, just kind of getting by. And then later on, I was like, oh, let's connect some of these dots. But a big thing we try and convey is feel. So if you can feel your way through something and listen to what's working and start reapplying those concepts, it doesn't matter if you know the four notes that make up a seventh chord, but if it sounds good and you might be able to identify, I think it's a seventh chord. That's what you need, you know?
I think what I'm getting at better at now has nothing to do with theory, but more ear
Right.
hearing. I listen to a lot of John Prine, right? So like I can, and John Prine, every John Prine song is really three chords, but with a capo.
Mhm.
I'm really getting good at hearing a song and knowing like, okay, that's a D chord. That's a
Yeah.
D thing, no matter
That's a home run.
where on the guitar it is. Dude, I've been playing guitar 22 years. I'm just now learning. I was listening to a song by named Tyler Childers yesterday. I was like, oh, that's a D chord, but there's obviously a capo. But I know for a fact he's playing a D shape
Mm-hmm.
or a shape. So like I'm just now learning that stuff and how to transpose that. My bass player, Eric Bass, is an award-winning producer. But not like a dude who has like, oh, I have a studio. This dude like owned the commercial studio when he joined our band. Like he's a real producer. So he is the guy that can hear something, I mean, full solo and like play it back that day. But he'll mess it up 4 weeks from now. He knows how to play it. He plays. Listen, our bass player is a better guitar player than I am. Like he's amazing, but he'll like mess it up to me. And like take a song like ours, like If You Only Knew. The song is four chords. He'll hit a note on that you're just like, where did that come from? And a lot of we never take that stuff seriously. We always laugh about it. Or our joke is we'll look up in the arena at like a light and be like, oh, that's the light that's broken. Like we'll just kind of look up and like make a joke, like we'll all kind of point up. So, but it takes me repetition. I got to listen to something 15, 20 times to get it right. Now, once I got it, I'm like 98% on stage. Like I'm not like I ain't missing notes, but it takes me so long to get it. If it's hard, if it's easy,
Mm-hmm.
I can get it. But like Eric is like first listen, his ears are magic. Like okay, yeah, I got it. But then he'll know it and be playing it perfect for 4 months, and then one night just be like, fall apart. And for me, like I got to sit there with him. Like I've even frustrated him by being like, show it to me again. Show it to me again. And like, because we both write guitar parts, Shinedown. We both play guitar on the records. We both play bass on the records. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's a cool dynamic with us. Because like he'll get frustrated on the bass and be like, "Here, you play it," and then like I'll get frustrated on guitar and be like, "Listen, there's no egos in this band." I'm like, "Hey, play the solo. Write this solo." The solo for a song called Black Soul on the new record, which is probably the hardest solo to play, is Eric Bass. That's
Wow.
him playing. That's him playing it on the record. Yeah, because it was just me going like, "This is so frustrating here," and I got to be honest, man. Like most people's like, I feel like their ego would be a little bruised by that, but like, dude, I love being in a band with somebody I can like be frustrated and be like, "You play this part," and they can
Right.
do it. I mean, it's like it's very challenging to each other, and I really enjoy that, man. That's how you learn to kind of be in the moment of what you do and learn from other people. So
I completely agree, man. We have a lot of the guitar students here, the kids getting, more intermediate and advanced. They're like teenage boys. And it's like, oh, I'm the best guitar player. I'm like, that's not the best thing, man. Like I always want to be the least talented guy in the room, because then there's people that I can learn from. And
I'm trying to learn, man. I told my wife the other day, I was like, I feel like I feel like, if I was supposed to, from getting signed at 14:36, run a mile. I said, I feel like I've run a quarter mile. Like I feel like I haven't learned as much as, um, what you should learn about it. And that's on me. You know what I mean? But I try every day. To me, listen, I'm not trying to be the fastest guitar player in the world. I don't care about sweep picking. I care about I care about pattern picking. Like when we just did a tour with Alter Bridge in the UK and Europe, and me and Mark would sit there every day, and I would like learn this like stuff where like he'd play a scale and be like, okay, down, down, up, and when you start the next one, you have to start on an up when you go to the next string. That shit drove me mad for 5 weeks, like trying to get it right. But to me, like there's guys out there that can just shred and shred and shred, and I can play guitar very well. I'm a lead guitar player. That's what I do. But I'm so far more based in the blues than I am anything else that like
Yeah.
shred to me is like I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching people play it. I enjoy when they fit it in tastefully. It's never going to be something I do. It's just not. But I I enjoy. To me, my favorite players, the guys who look like they can think about their what they're going to wear tomorrow while they're playing guitar.
Right.
My buddy Brian Painter from Avenged Sevenfold, St. Gates, he's one of those guys. That guy will be playing one of the hardest things, and he makes it look like he's folding socks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's just literally his head is over here, and he's so good at it. So I really enjoy those players like that. Somebody like Eric Johnson that's just like so laser focused too, like on the other side of the spectrum. He always looks like he knows what he's doing. So yeah, man, it's crazy to see all these guys what they do. But that's what you said. I always want to be the least talented guy in the room. I want to know what everybody else is doing and how I can get better.
Totally, man. Like I was literally telling a student about 2 hours ago this afternoon, I would much rather play 5 notes and make every one of them break your heart than play 50 notes and just have them be notes. Like there should be emotion.
So I was on tour with it was me, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and we were playing with BB King.
Wow.
Was it? I don't remember if it was Johnny or somebody else. It could have been someone else. Could have been this kid West G too. I'm not really sure. But we were doing. I think we were doing either "Nobody Loves Me But My Mom Still Is Gone," and we're playing, and look, everyone goes right. BB will give you a round. You play a solo, and I was like, I felt like I just nailed it. I had it right. I was just blistering. I was like, yeah, this is great. Kenny goes, makes me kind of like nervous. I'm like, oh no, I feel way less cool about what I did now. Then BB goes and looks back, and the band stops, and he holds one note for 16 bars.
Oh man.
Put my guitar down and walked off stage. And what was that is like it ain't about the amount of notes; it's about the amount you put into the note. And like
Yes. Now we froze. That's a beautiful thing to freeze on, though. I see in the comments, blue on black.
it said, pause due to.
Yeah, it's
I'm back.
okay. We're doing good. This is better than most times. Most like I had Mark Lettieri on
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and his service was just not cooperating. So you're good.
I have really good internet. I use this ubiquitous called Amplify. Works. You have mesh points all around the house that connect. But it's been like I've been having like some weird dead spots. Yeah, it's weird. It's working now.
Yes, that was with the make that one note count. That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's really the best way to think about it.
all right, let's pivot. Let's say you're on a desert island and you can bring one amp, one pedal, and one guitar. What's it going to be?
The guitar is right here. I think everyone knows what that is. I'll have to tell people what it is. It is real. Um, there it is. That or I have a that or I have a 60. I have a 1964 335, which I love. The amp is a
That was a 59 Les Paul?
that was, yes.
Oh my God, you're a king.
The amp depends, right? The amp depends on the pedal, or the pedal depends on the amp. So if I bring, I have a Dumble, still. So if I bring the Dumble, I'm gonna bring something heavy overdrive, so I get like a heavy overdrive. But if I bring a Diesel, which is my second amp, oddly enough, I'm gonna go with the Dumble. And I'm gonna go with the Analog King of Tone pedal. That'll be mine. People love clones, man. I have a couple clones, and I really love them, but I don't think they're the $2,500 pedal that everyone thinks they are. And I know for a fact Bill Finnegan doesn't think they're the $2,500 pedal. I think. I know also that the KTR1 and the original Klon are the exact same pedal.
Oh, the circuit's the same, totally. So what are people paying all the money? I get you.
He told me it was the same.
Yep, I've read that.
I said, what are the differences in these two pedals? And he said, other than the buffer switch. I said, other than the buffer switch. He goes, it's the same.
Crazy.
So it's crazy, man. But people, it's all about, that gold. People want that Minotaur or whatever it is. What is it? What is that? Centaur?
Centaur, yeah.
What's the Centaur? That's the name of the. What is that what a half horse person is called?
That's a Centaur, and then the Minotaur is the other one that doesn't have the back end to it.
The Minotaur back end, okay.
Yeah.
I know the Centaur is metal. I have a couple real Centaurs. It's the same. There's no difference. I'm taking the King of Metal all day because I can do a light overdrive and then drive one.
That is a fantastic pedal, but I'm still trying to digest a 59 into a Dumble like it's no big deal.
Hey, what
wow.
I love Les Pauls. That Les Paul into that steel string singer doesn't do. I would rather play a scrap that any shit than that Les Paul.
Wow, I got to tell you, that's the first one of those we've had on here. So,
listen, in my defense, I've been collecting gear for a very, very, very long time. I've come across some great deals and traded for some things, and I've been very lucky on the gear.
Brother, you deserve it. It's cool. It's a time.
There's a lot in this room right now.
I'm seeing all the guitars over there, and then I just can't even imagine what else.
Go out here. I'll do a quick tour. So we start over here. There's kind of the guitar. This is also a Dumble. It's a 70 Pro reverb that he redid. This is a 2-rock crystal, but it's not really like a really crystal. Like it's something way different than that. All your acoustic guitars start over here. And then here, I'll turn this. You got a bunch of Strats and the like, and a lot of Tellys. I'm a big Telly nerd. A lot of your Gibsons. What else? Here's the other amp rack.
Awesome.
And then, some more PRS stuff. That's the room. There's a lot of stuff in here.
That's sick, man. I mean, I try and explain to younger guitarists, because they'll walk in here and I operate a studio out of where the school is located, so it's multi-purpose. So I have gear here, and I have a lot of guitars here, and they'll be like, "Why do you need so many?" I'm like, "You'll see."
You kind of need it for everything, man. To me, I've got 2 guitars that I bring to sessions a lot. I'll bring that 59 sometimes just people want to see it, but dude, that 64, this thing right here, this guitar will do everything I have ever needed in life. This is my main. It's like my main session guitar that I use. It's a 64. I think it's a 64. Can sound like a Strat, can sound like a Telly, can sound like a Paul, can sound like Lion. You know what I mean? And then I have a PRS 513 prototype that will do plays better than any Strat I have. It's truly amazing. I'm back.
That's sick, man. Yeah, I tried to. I wanted to have specific guitars from 1983 when I came from.
Yeah.
So when I turned 21, my
in the worst guitar year of all time.
yeah, when I turned 21, my dad got me
a year ever.
So I have a Strat, and it's just like this goofy Strat that's like it's hardtail, but it's from the top, and it's just outrageous. But I had it. I just got a Les Paul standard, and it's real beat up. But
83. Now that's 83 Les Pauls are legit.
Yeah.
That was also it's also the first year. The first year that they ever redid the 59. So if you can find an 83 59 reissue, they're like 12 grand. They're like,
really?
They're hard to find. Do you have a Tele Elite?
No, that's on my Reverb watch list. There's a few.
Tele Elite, the Tele Elite to me the Tele Elite is the 1983. That's the 1983 guitar because I was born in 83 as well. So that's like the 83 like guitar. I do the same thing. I love things from 83. Even cars, like I look at cars from 83. Like it's just a year thing. I've always been proud of the year I was born in. So yeah,
exactly.
Very interesting to see. Like I play NBA 2K a lot, and my jersey number is 83. And all my friends and family give me so much grief for having such a high jersey number in basketball.
So you have your own Jordans. Let's go there. I'm a sneaker guy. I'm a watch guy. So tell me about that. What was that like?
Oh, we would get along great. I'm also a sneaker and a watch guy. Yeah, I have my own here. Okay. See, I don't want to. This feels like show offy, and that's not who I am. So.
Dude, it's not flexing, dude. I think if I would do the same thing. So
we'll go in here. This is all right. We're in the sneaker room. It goes all the way. It's a very large room.
You're my best friend.
Here we go. I'm gonna open this. So this is the Shinedown attention shoe. This is the PRS guitar and this are the two, like my two biggest accomplishments, I guess, as like a person who grew up loving Michael Jordan and basketball culture and sneaker culture. So right. Yeah, so that's the Shinedown Air Jordan. There's only 23 pair. I know everyone always asks for pair, but there's only 23. So yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm a huge into sneakers, huge into watches. That's kind of my thing. So it kind of starts over here with like ones. Start at threes, and you got some fours over here. These are all like special edition stuff. So like Friends and Family Travis Scott, Friends and Family Travis Scott, Friends and Family Justin Timberlake. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. So
that's
some
awesome.
Some weird. So a lot of game worn stuff too. These are a lot of the more collector stuff. Oregon 3, Oregon 5, Oregon 6, Oregon 6. Yeah, I have a lot of game worn stuff too from like players and stuff. So
that's incredible, man. Very cool.
Yeah, man. It's my wife just says I just collect everything.
Not just the cool stuff.
Yeah, just the cool stuff. Watches and sneakers and all that. So
it's hard because like, guitars, watches, sneakers, they're expensive. A buddy of mine collects cars. He's a Porsche guy, and he just got himself into, I can't remember what it is, but it's like a $300,000 car. He's like in the pharmaceutical industry. I'm like, I can't play at that level, man, but I'll sit in your passenger seat.
And like all the stuff I ever got, other than guitars, like all the watches are expensive, but with sneakers, I'm lucky enough where I've been on the Jordan team since 2016. So
that's great.
I got who's like my brother. He takes care of it. That's been nice. But listen, I find bass boats and second houses and a bunch of cars, man. I got 2 cars. I have a lot of houses, but that's because I like real estate. But I don't only live like I don't live in a lot of houses. I live in 2, and I own a couple. But yeah, it's not like I have like I have a house here, I have a house here, I have a house here, I have a house here. Like I like guitars, I like shoes. Like I could be frivolously spending my money on things I'm gonna appreciate in value. But
Yeah.
watches watches seem to go up, shoes go up, guitars go up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a bunch of cars. I don't have like a fleet of sports cars in my driveway.
Nah, man, I think watches in particular, I've been watching, the market, and you can get your hands on, like you can get like a Hulk, you know, right now for a lot less than you could about a year ago, and it's going to go up. It's just, the world is a little crazy.
Yeah, man, now's the time to buy stuff like that because people are trying to kind of get rid of it, which is like I have a deal with a company in Caliber. They'll send me a watch to wear for a while. They're more like an authentic middleman, almost like if you want to sell your watch to someone, you'll send it to them. They'll authenticate it and then make sure it's all real and sell it. And so, yeah, man, they've been great. And I've gotten a couple watches. I got that IWC Top Gun Pilot.
Nice.
I got a Panerai old school Pan 54 with like the old school Roman numeral, big face watch. Yeah. So, what about guns? I collect a lot of guns. Sorry, I'm from the South. I have
It's a lot. Huh. Are you a gamer?
Yeah, I have Call of Duty just our photographer kind of made me download it, so I play. I've got like a little portable game system that's like this big, has the TV and all that in it.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
I bring the Xbox and the TV, open it up. Yeah, I mostly just play NBA. I'm a sports nerd, so I mostly play NBA 2K. That's really it.
Very cool, man. Well, thank you. I mean, they'll cut us down right at an hour, so I'll wrap it up now so you don't get interrupted. I didn't hear the last part you said. I'm sorry.
I said they're about to chop. I think.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging, man. This has been incredible, and your generosity, and just to be so open and show us all your toys and tell us about your experience. That's super inspiring. So thank you.
I mean, I appreciate you. That was very cool to do, and yeah, man, I appreciate it. I kind of got away from cleaning fish.
There you go. Well, enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
And then, one day down the road when the world is normal, maybe we'll hang out and talk guitars and all kinds of shit. Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much. Stay safe, and we'll see you out there. All right.
And thanks a lot.